So a few weeks ago, I put a question forward to the band. I asked everyone for their top 3 gig moments, anything that's happened on or off stage, just to kind of see what everyone's favourite moments were from going on the road and playing shows. So these are the top 3 gig moments from everyone in the band.
There is so many more than 3, but I'm doing my best to keep it down to 3. One of my top 3 is Bullstock Festival. It's a really fun event. There's nothing else quite like it. It's mad. The whole town kind of shuts down and just becomes this music festival. It's mad. It's such a eclectic thing. First time we played in the town hall. Everyone else was pretty extreme metal side of stuff. But we were lucky enough to be invited back to play it last year, and we got invited to play the main outdoor stage, which is huge. We love playing outside. It always causes some interesting sunburn with the stage makeup. The pressure was on when we got there, and the act we had to follow was the pirate theatre group for the kids. You know, I was pretty entranced. Alas, there was no rum. That was the only down point. I like to put my wireless system to use, become the show, get other people involved. That's what I like to do. The only way off the stage, bar a sheer drop off the front onto concrete, was the stairs at the back of the stage, which were like scaffolding stairs, and they were pretty much vertical. Playing what I'm playing on Ashes on the outro, leg it to the back of the stage, navigate down these stairs while still playing. Nicole did the same too. Well done for not falling over, because it was hit and miss with me, I'll be honest.
Last summer, I think this was, we was playing the Ball in Colchester. It was a Thursday night, and usually Thursday night gigs are kind of hit and miss. Turned out to be one of my favourite shows that we have played when we was playing Irrefutable Truth, probably our heaviest song. The crowd the whole night was amazing. It was such a great crowd. They was interacting, they were singing along to the guitar melodies and the piano melodies. In the breakdown of Irrefutable Truth, we managed to start a mosh pit, and I think this was one of the first proper mosh pits that we had ever started. It had always been one of my dreams to be playing and to start a mosh pit, and watching everyone just going crazy and everything during this breakdown was ridiculous. I remember at the time looking over at Sam, and he was looking at me, and we both just burst out laughing because it was just so funny to watch on stage.
When it comes to times that we've had on stage, everyone goes, oh, Undiscovered, when you played the finals of Undiscovered, the best bit and the bit that I remember the most is when we were announced as the winners. I can't really count it as an on-stage moment, but if you're looking at top 3 on-stage moments, the first one, we were playing in the Arches in Coventry, playing the song Falling, and our old guitarist, Sam, comes straight across the stage, doesn't realise that I'm not on a wireless, and falls over almost flat on his face as I sing the line, I'm falling. And I'm just like, ha, priceless.
Gotta start at the beginning. My first gig with FyreSky. I wasn't officially in the band yet, I was just standing in, and I was really nervous. And the first gig, of course, had to be an open air festival for Bullstock. Never played a show like that before, let alone with musicians that had inspired me for multiple years. Then we hit Ashes, and I think Ashes is always last. And it's last because there's a big ending. Usually Chris would go and play in the crowd and just rock out with everyone. Everyone goes crazy and it's awesome. But here's the thing. Okay, so when you can see how big the stage is, and it's tall, and there was no way safely to come off the stage to rock out with everyone apart from around the back. The steepest, most dangerous looking staircase I've ever seen. The look on my face as I noticed that Chris is actually running around the back. And I just remember laughing my head off as we're running down the back, and I've never seen Chris move so fast. I asked her afterwards, I said, Chris, how did he move so fast? She said, probably the beer. For my first gig experience, to be, you know, running into a big crowd of people of all ages, because it was during the daytime, there were, you know, kids as young as however, and people who had never seen us before who had just suddenly turned up out of nowhere, and it was just so magical. And I tried rum for the first time.
Ionia Fest. Since we met, we've just really got along, and they're an awesome, friendly bunch and hardworking like we are. Every time we've played Sheffield, we've had a really nice response. I always love going back to Sheffield. Really fun day. The band work their asses off to put this day together, and they make it run like clockwork. Kudos to them, because I would be pulling my mohawk out everywhere and stressing. We were meant to be playing a gig on the same day last year in Scarborough. We were meant to be supporting our friends, the Heretic Order. The gig fell through, the venue cancelled all their gigs. Well, before I even could put a post out to say we need some help, our gig's been cancelled. The Ionia guys messaged and were like, we'll make room for you, we'll help you out. We played a really good set. I did drink a fair bit, if I'm honest, but after our set.
Playing the Dames of Darkness festival. This was a good few years back now, and this was usually a female fronted festival. Pretty sure that we was the first male fronted band to ever play. Going into it, we was a little bit nervous. We wasn't the normal kind of band that would play at this festival. We was first on. About 10 minutes before going on stage, looking up to see if there's anyone in the crowd, and this is it's a massive room. I looked in and there was probably about 5 people in the room. About 5 minutes later, I went back up to the stage, and the room was jam-packed, and it was ridiculous, and we played a great set, and it was all so much fun, and we met some really great people there, and fans that are still some of our most dedicated supporters to this day. The thing that topped it off was after we came off stage, but someone said, yeah, you're needed right now at the merch desk. I went out to the merch desk, and there was just a massive queue of people wanting to buy merch and to get stuff signed. And it was my first kind of experience of having that large amount of people wanting you to sign stuff and coming up to you and wanting to meet you, and it was a very surreal. I just had to take a step back and think, what the hell just happened? Because I wasn't used to it. I'm still not used to it, and I don't think I ever will get used to it. Having people coming up to you, wanting to meet you and saying that they really enjoyed what you've been making, it's an honour really, and I don't think that I'll ever get used to it, to be honest.
Back to really early in FyreSky when we somehow snagged a slot at Dames of Darkness Festival. We played Star Chaser, we played what's called Thunderchild at the time, but we played Spectre. Listening to that crowd singing along, watching even midway through the set, people trying to find our merch desk. That was confirmation to me that we're doing something right.
The London Girls Wanna Rock, late February I think. First time playing London with FyreSky. I've just realised I'm talking about the Breakdown of Ashes again. Because this crowd was so enthusiastic, sometimes I just like to do the complete opposite and just stroll out like nothing's happening and sit by the bar, and that's what I was doing. And cause I remember Nova Halo, awesome band, that they were at the front going wild, and I remember just chilling by the bar like and there was another guy at the bar like it was just a really cool moment. A nice first experience playing London. I don't know, there was something really cool about that, and I like that.
An event that I've been supporting for years, Dames of Darkness. Barely a year we've been going with FyreSky. I got a message from the organiser David saying would we want to play, to shake things up a bit and have a female inclusive band, the first male fronted band, play it. I'll admit I was very emotional, and it was at a really cool venue called the Robin 2 in Bilston. Kind of kick-started the start of the band and the path that we're on now. Quite often there'd be events supporting female musicians that we'd apply for, but we'd always get the same message: you're just a bass player, so sorry, you've got to be a female singer to be a part of this. Start breaking the barriers down, because that is something I'm always going to be vocal about. Female musicians, we're all equal. Dames was the first thing that included us and made me feel valued as a female musician. Because the tits aren't at the front of the stage, we don't want you, no matter how good you are or what style you are. That's wrong, that's really backwards. Cole as well now to help me with that. I was terrified that no one would be interested in us because we were male fronted. There was a queue of like 50 odd people waiting to buy merch, and we sold out of
Ballstock Festival in 2019, and basically for them 3 days a section of the town is cut off. I think it was 2017, and we played on the metal stage. Then last year we got invited back, and we got invited back to play the main stage, which is outside. I remember setting up my drums. It was just a sea of people going back, and it was another one of them surreal moments when you're kind of thinking, right, is this actually happening? And there's always a different atmosphere to playing open air festivals, and I'm not too sure what it is, but they always just feel different. And basically Nicole and Chris got off the stage, went into the crowd, and as I said, this crowd was going way back. It was funny just watching them both disappear, because they went right down to the end at one point and I lost sight of them. Even Nicole or Chris got so far away from the actual stage that their wireless pack started not working because of the connection. On the main stage in front of a crowd that big and everyone enjoyed it, it was really special.
I'm pretty sure it was Undiscovered, but we were on stage at Chinnery's. We're coming up to our final song of the night and we were going to play Ashes, and typically hold a couple of long notes. Completely unplanned, I started holding the note and noticed this massive wall of reverb and delay. It felt so powerful. And it got people's attention as well. People started cheering because I was holding this note. Not just because I was holding the note, because of the effects on it, because it sounded so monumental. And that moment forged Ashes. We had people singing back. You had people cheering for you. The sound man almost intrinsically connect with what you wanted in your mind without even talking to you about it first.
Favourite, but least favourite, but still kind of favourite has got to be Metal to the Masses Heat, Colchester and Essex. The reason why it was least favourite, we're all besides ourselves with anxiety and nerves and excitement before the show. I could barely stand, I was so nervous, and people were helping me to bring my stuff on stage. My routine is I get set up, I tune my guitars, and then I meditate for a second. It's just so I can focus myself and not mess up the start of Star Chaser. I was playing it and I was like, this doesn't feel right, it doesn't sound right, and then I used my tuner and I was thinking, this is in E flat standard on a 7th string, why is my low B saying G? And I realised that there was no fixing it. We had about 30 seconds to start. Gabriel was saying to me, you just gotta guess. And I thought, and I don't know how we managed to get through the first 2 songs, or myself, I was ready to cry. So we couldn't play, you know, Pleasure for Pain, because we had to end up improvising our set, which still went awesome and the crowd were loving it. We ended up winning by crowd vote, but that's not the part I loved. Also, bear in mind, band before us used Sugar Glass, so there was a sticky situation where the bass drum got caught up and couldn't work during Spectre. Filled with bad memories, but also here's a good memory. I think it must have been during Spectre. All the anxiety and the nerves, we just kind of felt meh, and it all went behind us and we had a good time, and I think that just made it all the more magical. Let's finish the set, let's have a good time and go home and drink and forget this ever happened. I think that's what made it a great show. We weren't nervous, we weren't trying to make everything perfect. Bear in mind, Ryan's kick drum was not doing its job as a kick drum at one part. What was happening with the amp or the pedals? I saw Chris standing on top of side amps at one point and I was laughing because it was funny and it was fun and it was relaxed, and that's what it's about. I'll never forget it, and it just drives in this importance of enjoy it in the moment, because you can't guarantee that it's going to be the best show ever. You just gotta love it. It was a good show, so that's why it's one of my favourites.